Good evening, one and all. We'll be starting our proceedings in few minutes. Those who are interested to present can share your details in chat box. We will invite you at appropriate time. You can share your topic, name, designation, organization in the chat box to host or to Dr. Ravindra. At appropriate time, we will invite you. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you all to the International Seminar on Yoga, Health, Well-being, Spirituality and Sustainable Development 2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns and India's G20 presidency. And today we are also commemorating International Day of Yoga and International Day of the celebration of solstice. And apart from that, we have various other commemorations. So let's begin our international seminar with the blessings of Almighty.
Kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampada shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampada shatru buddhi vinashaya deepajyotirnamostute deepajyotirnamostute shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampada Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampada.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. The presenters who have registered and who have completed the formalities are willing to present, can share your topic along with your details in the chat box. After commemorations, we'll be inviting. So today, we are celebrating 9th International Day of Yoga. Yoga is an ancient physical, mental, spiritual practice that has originated in India thousands of years ago, and the world has embraced the yoga in various forms across the planet. The word yoga derives from Sanskrit and means to join or to unite, or is symbolizing the union of the body and the conscious. So today it is practiced in various forms around the world and continues to grow in popularity. Recognizing its universal appeal, on 11th December 2014, the United Nations proclaimed 21st June as the International Day of Yoga by Resolution 69 by 131. So the International Day of Yoga aims to raise awareness worldwide of many benefits of practicing yoga. The draft resolution establishing the International Day of Yoga was proposed by India and endorsed by a record 175 member states, that is, countries. The proposal was first introduced by Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji in his address during the opening of the 69th session of the General Assembly, in which he said, "Yoga is an invaluable gift from our ancient tradition. Yoga embodies unity of mind and body, thought and action, a holistic approach that is valuable to our health and our well-being. Yoga is not just about exercise, it's a way to discover the sense of oneness with yourself, the world and the nature." The resolution notes the importance of individuals and populations making healthier choices and following lifestyle patterns that foster good health. In this regard, the World Health Organization has also urged its member states to help their citizens reduce physical inactivity, which is among the top 10 leading causes of death worldwide, and a key risk factor for non-communicable diseases such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, and diabetes, and many other lifestyle disorders. But yoga is more than a physical activity. In the words of one of its most famous practitioners, by various sages, and in the modern times by the late B.K. Iyengar, yoga cultivates the ways of maintaining a balanced attitude in the day-to-day life and endows skill in the performance of one's actions. Yoga was inscribed on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2016. The philosophy behind the ancient Indian practice of yoga has influenced various aspects of how society in India functions, whether it be in relation to the areas such as health and medicine, or education and the arts, based on the unifying the mind with the body and the soul to allow for greater mental and spiritual and physical well-being. The values of yoga form a major part of the community ethos. World Health Organization, in collaboration with Government of India, has launched World Health Organization Yoga, a yoga app to help people stay active and healthy. The app contains collection of videos and audio files to teach and accompany yoga practice. And it's an easy to use and a free tool for both people who are trying yoga for the first time and for those who already practiced or practicing yoga regularly. The app was developed by Be Healthy Be Mobile, a joint initiative between the World Health Organization and the International Telecommunication Union. So this year we are celebrating 9th International Day of Yoga. So with such great initiative, on this wonderful occasion, we request everyone to start initiating yoga if not already practiced. And you can use this World Health Organization app on yoga, M-Yoga, which is a free yoga app which helps to people to stay active and healthy. The app is safe and secure and does not collect any data from users. So it is available for free download on Androids and Apple devices. So it literally works on any operating system, popular operating systems. And this app contains a collection of videos and audio files to teach and accompany yoga practice, and is an easy to use free tool for both people who are trying yoga for the first time and also those who have learned something about yoga and those who already practice yoga regularly. So no special equipment is required. Yoga can be performed anywhere without any equipment. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, yoga can be performed. And users can learn or practice for between as little as 1 minute or 3 minutes to as long as 45 minutes to 60 minutes. So even busy people can use it to get active while you are spending your time leisure, or when you are waiting for your to take up next task. It is a wonderful opportunity to develop a habit to go through this app, as this is authentic source of yoga, which is a joint collaboration by World Health Organization and also Government of India. The app was, as mentioned, was developed by Be Healthy, Be Mobile, a joint initiative between the World Health Organization and the International Telecommunications Union. So both are legitimate organizations and, provide authentic information and genuine information on yoga. So it is safe to start practicing without having a second thought. And inputs from experts around the world was organized by the World Health Organization Traditional, Complementary and Integrative Medicine Unit. And also in India, Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, the World Health Organization Collaborating Center for Traditional Medicine. So it was created in response to the Global Traditional Medicine Strategy 2014 to 2023, which aims to strengthen the quality, safety, effectiveness of traditional and complementary medicine. As highlighted in the World Health Organization's Global Action Plan on Physical Activity 2018 to 2030, the routine practice of yoga, which is more than a 5,000-year-old tradition, is a valuable tool for people of all ages to make a physical activity an integral part of the life and reach the level needed to promote good health. Adults require at least 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity activity. So regular physical activity is a well-established protective factor for prevention and treatment of many non-communicable diseases and their risk factors such as hypertension, overweight, obesity. Physical activity is associated with improved mental health, prevention and delay of dementia, and improved quality of life and well-being. So these non-communicable diseases are 100% preventable. So let's engage in physical activities and ensure ourselves health and well-being with simple yoga practices. The philosophy behind the ancient India practice of yoga have influenced various aspects of how society in India functions, whether it may be in relation to areas such as health and medicine or education and the arts, based on the unifying the mind with the body and soul to allow for greater mental, spiritual, and physical health and well-being. The values of yoga from a major part of the community ethos. Yoga consists of a series of poses, meditation, controlled breathing, word chanting, and other techniques designed to help individuals build self-realization, ease any suffering they may be experiencing, and allow for a state of liberation. It is practiced by the young and old without discrimination against gender, class, caste, or religion that has become popular in various parts of the world. Traditionally, yoga was transmitted using the Guru Shishya Parampara or Guru Shishya model or master pupil model, with yoga gurus as the main custodians of the associated knowledge and skills. But nowadays, with the advent of technology and ICT and various platforms, yoga ashrams or hermitages, even online courses, online models also provide enthusiasts with additional opportunities to learn about traditional practice, as well as schools, universities, community centers, and social media also offer such unique opportunities. Apart from that, various UGC recognized courses are offered from various universities, institutions at various levels, at certificate level, diploma level, postgraduate diploma level, postgraduate certificate level, bachelor's level, at PG level, and also at PhD level, where if anyone wants to pursue yoga as a profession, as a career, can take it up and promote health and well-being for everyone. And ancient manuscripts and scriptures are also used in the teaching and practicing of yoga, and a vast range of modern literature on the subject is also available. And based on the country's regional and local adaptations were made based on their culture, tradition, practices, and their lifestyle. Yoga has been adapted to take up their own cultures and traditions. And even the modern lifestyles and the modern physical activities and education has also incorporated yogic practices into day-to-day life and part of physical education and various other education, where it became part of the curriculum. Now, with this greater opportunity, we can take it forward, which is almost, we are losing our various ancient traditional knowledge systems. It's a high time we revive these ancient systems, ancient knowledge systems to promote health and well-being in the community. We have seen the climate change, which is impacting not only the farmers, because we are what we eat. We are consuming various food materials or food producers which are highly polluted due to water pollution, soil pollution, land pollution, excessive use of fertilizers, that is the two chemical fertilizers, and all these are impacting and taking a toll on our health. And a lot of contaminants even microplastics, even microfibers, where we are using even our clothes also. No, earlier we were using sustainable model of cotton clothes or silk clothes, but now we are using polyester, nylon, and all kind of fibers. No, every time you wash your clothes, microfibers are released into the water sources, and that water source is consumed by the fish and various other animals, aquatic animals, and those same water is being used for irrigation and are also left out into the ocean. So these microfibers and also microplastics which enter into the water streams and enter into the other ecosystems, into the plants, animals, are again entering into the human body. So this is again creating a lot of health issues, and we are able to trace even in our blood, we can see these microfibers and microplastics. So all these are creating a toll on our health, and we see India has become diabetes capital, hypertension capital, and also cancer capital. And recently, lot of cardiac deaths are happening. The young generations, especially in between 20 and 40, those are the bright future citizens and are the future of families and nations, are losing their lives. We have seen the highest number of deaths that are occurred due to cardiac arrest and cardiac issues. So we have a very simple remedy, age-old tested, evidence-based. All these modern medicine, for that matter, is just 200, 300 years old. And we have a lot of side effects for each medicine, each practice. And till even today, we don't have a cure for many diseases like HIV, even for malaria, for that matter. We are not able to overcome malaria. And every now that even winter season is coming, rainy season, and then followed by winter season, we see a lot of viral fevers, that are rampant in the society. So the modern science is in still infancy stage. So with this just 2 and 3 centuries of modern science and technologies, we have destroyed entire planet and we have put ourselves into the verge of extinction. And recent IPCC reports and various United Nations and UN systems have alarmed that if the same continues by 2050, most of the species which were existent on the planet since billions and millions of years will become extinct. That will create a huge gap in the ecosystem and food chain. And tomorrow, in coming days, in the next another century, even human beings will also become extinct, as dinosaurs and many other species got extinct on the planet. So what we are doing is from moving away from our own traditional indigenous knowledge, ancient knowledge systems, we are depriving ourselves of our age-old practices, which are, evidence-based, which have time-tested and proven themselves over a period of time. No, they are there. 5,000 years is not just 5,000 years, but it is the oldest of the civilizations that were available, because that's why we take that as as a common reference. But 5,000 years doesn't mean it just started it. That is, it always conveys, it always connotates that it is more than 5,000 years old. It can be even 5 lakh years old also. So that's just for a reference, because that is the oldest, a record that we have, because even at that time, no religion was existing and no caste creed systems were existing. and even that was the earliest civilizations. So that we take as a reference. And we have seen in the ancient Hindu scripts, or even in various, when we talk about Sanatana Dharma or Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam concept, because this year the theme is also, which is relevant. It talks about one family, one planet, one earth, and we all belong to one family, irrespective of whether we are an human being, whether we are an animal, or whether we are any plant or a tree or a shrub. We all belong to one family, and we all have equal rights. So being human beings, we are not superior to any of the species. We have billions of 8 billion plus species on the planet, and we are just one among the 8 billion species of planet. By ignoring that, by taking control over the other species and working in a non-harmonious way, in an exploitative way, we are destroying our own planet, our own family, our own habitats, our own ecosystems, our own health systems, which is affecting our health and well-being of not just human beings, but also animals, plants, and entire planet. Today, we have seen how the poles, the Arctic and Antarctic poles, which were minus 80 degrees, are now recording temperatures of plus 20 degrees. Can you imagine 100 degrees variation in temperature? How our poor species, fellow beings, our family members, they're residing there, polar bears, penguins, seals are suffering, are in the verge of extinction. Can you imagine what will happen if 5 degrees Celsius, if the temperature rises here? We know what kind of situation or crisis we all in, and they are seeing 100 degrees change in temperature. That's why these glaciers and all are melting. Why we are talking about all these things? Because we are lacking that holistic approach. We are lacking that spiritual approach to our fellow beings. So that is why when we are lacking this holistic approach and we are becoming more mere selfish or exploitative in nature, we are exploiting the natural resources that is impacting the health and well-being of the planet and entire species on the planet. So let's take this opportunity. Today, we are also commemorating the International Day of the celebration of solstice, where the sun movement, the seasonal movement of sun is celebrated. A solstice is derived from the Latin sol, that is sun, and the history to stand still, because the seasonal movement of the sun's daily path, as seen from the earth, appears to stand still at northern or southern hemisphere or limits before reversing its direction. We call it as Uttarayanam or Dakshinayanam. Is a similar event that occurs when the sun reaches its most northerly or southerly day arc relative to the equator. Therefore, there are two solstices that occur annually around June 21, which is commonly known as summer solstice. So today, on the occasion of summer solstice, we are also celebrating the International Day of Yoga. In fact, when we look at the background, the day was fixed in such a manner that they both have a very close significance on this day. And it is an event that occurs 2 times and 2 solstices that occur annually, as mentioned. June 21st, commonly known as summer solstice, for being the first day of summer and the longest day of the year. Today is the longest day of the year. And also December 21st, commonly known as winter solstice, for being the first day of winter and the shortest day of the year. So today, the day is longer and we have a greater opportunity to invest our time. And that too, we can allot some more time for yoga and various other health and spiritual activities. On the other hand, an equinox, derived from the Latin equinoctium, from equus, which means equal, and nox means night, is commonly regarded as instant when the center of the visible sun is directly above the equator and occurs twice each year around 20th March, called spring equinox, as it marks the beginning of a spring in most cultures, and 23rd September, called autumn equinox, as it marks the beginning of autumn. And the equinoxes are only times when solar terminators, the edge between the day and night, is perpendicular to the equator, and hence daytime and nighttime are of approximately equal duration. The solstices, together with the equinoxes, are connected with the seasons. See, this is a science between the seasons, formation of seasons. And harvest and livelihood. That's why we have a lot of festivals, especially when we see Ugadi, Pongal, Sankranti, Deepavali, Dasara, all are, very scientific in nature. All these, because we lost our ancient knowledge and we are also not reading, we are not practicing, and it has become mostly a ritual. But we are losing the rich science behind celebrating these festivals. So we have to go back to our ancient cultures and traditions and ancient knowledge systems to empower ourselves, to find the logic and science behind them and how they have been there since 5,000 years and more and still exist. And they are the only ones which are going to exist even in future. No matter what we take up even today, all these, the research, the present research is always an destructive research. We are inventing new diseases, new disorders, and new threats to not only us, for the entire livelihood, because the development itself has gone off track, which is not at all a sustainable development, depleting, exploiting natural and artificial resources. So today, it is also celebrated across the world as the summer solstice fire festivals takes place each year on the same night when the sun is at its zenith. One night falls, people from different towns and villages carrying flaming torches down the mountains to a light of variety traditional constructed beacons. The descent is a special moment for young people, signifying the transition from adolescence to adulthood. This festival is also time for regenerating social ties and strengthening feelings of belonging, identity, and continuity, with celebrations including popular folklore and communal dining. Roles are assigned to specific people in some municipalities, especially the religious heads or administrative heads are involved in lighting the first beacon. A priest blesses or lights the fire elsewhere, And most recently, married man lights the fire or woman and leads the descent to the village. Often young unmarried girls wait the arrival of torchbearers in the village, and feast follows. So again, this varies from country to country based on their local and regional rituals. And apart from that, we have great spiritual practices that needs to be revived on this wonderful day of yoga. And let's all together take a pledge to continue this wonderful science ahead, which is our rich knowledge system. So let's move on today with the protocol. So what we will do is we'll follow the yoga protocol for half an hour or so. Make yourself comfortable at your own place. Make out some space around where you can practice common yoga protocol. Hope we all have done it in the morning. But again, it's the evening time. Again, we can also do once more, or those who haven't done, we can do it once again. And those who are switching on their videos and practicing, they will be given a special certificate apart from this seminar certificate. If you are able to do it, that's fine. It's not mandatory. Those who are not able to do it, switch on video, it's also fine. No need to worry. So what we will do is, for convenience of all, and a lot of efforts are also put in to create a video, we will play the video instead of doing it by ourselves. So we will all follow the video and we will do it at our own places, wherever we are, in our offices or even at our sweet homes. So after this completion of yoga protocol, then we will take up the sessions. So let's start following this practice, the yoga protocol. It is simple yoga asanas with the simple instructions. We are using the English as common medium because we have international participants from across the world. So let's start our common yoga protocol and then head towards today's presentations. In the meanwhile, Those who would like to make presentations, you can share your topic along with your topic, share your details in chat box. Once we conclude this common yoga protocol, after finishing our yoga asanas and practice, we'll go with the sessions, presentations. In the meanwhile, if you have any queries or doubts, clarifications, you can always use chat box. For the convenience, all the mics has been muted. So if you have any queries, you can use the chat box to communicate. Let's all sit in a relaxable position. Dear friends, before we start our common protocol, we have with us yoga guru and trainer. So we will take up one presentation and then move on to our protocol. So we have with us Ramesh ji. He is from Kerala. He is trained yoga trainer and also yoga guru and qualified Ayurveda therapist. మీరు అక్కడ కెమెరా ఆన్ చేసి if participants can do it alone, you can start from your own place. You can also slowly practice. Dear friends, you can slowly start practicing. Hope you are able to see. Otherwise, you can pin the screen. Now this is third asana, Udgatasana, performed by our Yoga Guruji. This is fourth asana, Padahasta asana. This is fifth asana, Parthoshasana. The sixth asana, Ardha Chandrasana. Seventh asana, Ekapada asana. We will explain you in detail the benefits of these asanas later. Till now, we have seen asanas in standing posture. Now we will see, observe and practice some asanas in sitting posture. This is Yoga Mudra. This is second sitting asana, Vakrasana. This asana is Ardha Machandrasana, 10th asana.
రవీంద్ర గారు
Jayachandra garu.
am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is unplanned, at least a few live asanas from our, he is the trainer, Ramesh Kishan from Kerala. Is a trainer in yoga, martial arts, and is also a trainer for Ayurvedic therapy. And he looks after here these services in ISYHWBSSD Ayurdalayam, where I am talking from. So for this whatever opportunity, he got it and I got it. So it is we feel, and that to being a Yoga International Day, so a small contribution from ISYHWBSSD Ayurdalayam. So thank you, Ravindra Garu. Thank you all the participants, and anybody local want more information, certainly Ravindra Garu also can add, and he can provide all the contacts and all. And in a very nominal charges, all this, training in therapy, that is called Panchakarma. All Ayurvedic therapies he will train, and the martial arts, particularly Kung Fu, and then yoga, complete yoga, he can train in very nominal charges. So people can contact Ravindra Garu to know more about this. Thank you, participants. Thank you, Ravindra Garu. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Jayachandra garu. Though it was a short notice, we could make it. Thank you once again. So, as part of initiative, it has been a wonderful cause that especially those who are in Hyderabad, they can utilize this opportunity. It's a non-profit organization which is providing services, and we are those who are interested. Generally those who are interested to learn, or those who have any health or medical issues, they can come and utilize these services. This is on a sustainable basis, not a commercial, where we are providing services on a sustainable basis, on a cost-to-cost basis. I mean, no profit, but just to run these services. So if anyone would like to come and learn and utilize these services, you are welcome. You can contact me. You have my contact number, just in case if you need any information. You can reach out. We can help you in learning yoga and various other services. So without taking much time, other speakers are also waiting. We'll move on to our next session. So we have with us Ravichandran ji. He is Assistant Professor, Management Studies from Sri Krishna Engineering College, Chennai. Ravichandran ji, you can unmute yourself, start your video and start your presentation.
Thank you very much, sir. Can you able to see the screen?
Yeah, Ravichandran, please continue.
The
You can
screen
make
is
it
on.
full screen.
Screen is on.
Yeah, you can make it full screen. Can you hear me? Yeah, now it's fine.
Now, sir, good evening to all of you. I'll take this session approximately 30 minutes. The seminar Dr. Ravindra is being conducting for the quite some time now. Anything, any program, any new practice, and any new energy, when you would like to take, we always start with the highest mounted up opportunity of initiating, but does it really go with consistency and continuity? That is the biggest question in this current scenario of life. As a matter of fact, we always prefer start with everything, 10 out of 5 choices, 10 choices, each choices, we always feel about it. And over a period of time, we may not be able to extend and sustain. But the way Dr. Ravindra is taking the seminar sessions for the several months, and that too, no gap in the middle. So his contribution towards is really phenomenal. So I would like to thank and salute to his involvement and conviction towards such kind program is not mere possible doing it. So this particular day, yoga is a kind of an inner energy. Yoga does not alone carry the body moving around, trying to make our fitment to make the body alone togetherness. It also engages into mind, mindful energy, discharging your mind on every day precisely with your intensive program of the particular day is quite precisely managed with all prejudices. Why do I call prejudice over here? Because we all live with lot of difficulty. We all live with every situation is not to our favor. But still, we want to have the day of the opportunity given by the grace of God and the nature, trying to overcome and contribute our intensive mind. Well, this is a very complicating topic, the one I'm taking it on the day of yoga, ego versus inner mind. I am mostly talking a person with my subject often and often because I know nothing other than HR. Anybody asking me something else in mathematics or physics or anything, I'll become an illiterate man. I don't even know the basic bank interest rate. Identify. Why I fall into such kind of mindful time in my field of studies, I don't know, but I fall into such. Let's see how such thought process of our inner mind can be made easier and possibly making yourself into relevance. Well, I'm going to give a few short numbers of slides, not much of taking, giving, and reading it out, and try to explain the one what is written over there. I'm going to give you a thoughtful and trying to pulsate in your mind and trying to give you the kind of communication and the conversation should make your brain, mind connect. We have every organs in our body, every organs are being controlled. At any given time, you cannot walk unless until there is an order. You don't use your legs, you don't use your hands round the hour. Round the clock, you don't use your hands. When you require the hands to be used, you use it. When the legs need to be used, you use it. Unnecessarily, you do not handle. You do not touch your nose all the time. You do not touch your tongue all the time. Similarly, you don't use your legs and hands and whatever the organs unless there is an order given by your neurosystem reaches channelizing it and the brain orders. So at last every organs are connecting to your science of body, but at last where who orders it? The mind. Do the mind existing in your organ? Do the mind engaged? Mind is there within your body? No. So everything is being controlled by mind. Mind is Maya. Maya is becoming very important of you to measure and order it. Similarly, everything becomes Maya and the inner energy of yourself itself, everything goes into the cloudy form. Nothing really understandable how you do exist. What do you exist? Why? What is the purpose of existence? It's a quite psychological understanding and more spiritual way of explaining, and at last how it can be communicable towards your yoga practice. Yoga not alone, the physical attributes need to be carried out well in form. Mind is quite important to make every characteristics of whatever we discuss. So please follow my communications is very quite important. I might find, sorry, I feel very important because the logic behind of these goes into ego subject. So coming to the points of explaining ego in three different factors. So let's get into HR, human resource. The human, let me tell you, human, we decided. We say we are human. Dr. Ravindra sir, are you following my communication? Everybody is hearing it. By any chance, are you missing? Is this fine? Going along?
Yeah, you can continue. Your voice can be better. Maybe.
Voice is all right.
It's
You want any
audible.
more clear? Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's okay.
anything,
Please
any
continue.
trouble? Yeah. Okay. So, um, there no, we logically work on every aspect and trying to yield the benefit. The earth does not give you the opportunity of you to live. Frankly speaking, you would be feeling shocked when I say this. The earth is not necessary to give you to live a life the way you feel. The earth itself does not work in the way what it feels. It is eating you. The earth is eating you from the day of your birth. Again, you are not born on the particular day of, you say, date of birth. You are not born in this world on the day of your date of birth. Somewhere behind, 8 months behind, you are formed into the earth with your mother's womb, and that day could be a possible day of birth. Too much I feel I am hoping, no, I am no, pointing something beyond talks, but no, psychologically and philosophy. I don't know whether it's a philosophy or psychology. But what I feel is your date of birth is writing on your data document. I don't feel it's a right, and you need to necessarily understand. Maybe 8 months behind, you got into the womb of your mother, and you are already started existing on there. Earth does not allow you to live the way even the seeds fall on the earth. Ground is not necessary to come up. Where does not permit the every seed to grow as a tree. It takes huge amount of stress and it has to live on its own ego and own intention of super ego and own intention of its own ID. Here we call it as ID. In HR aspect, we usually call it by not ID, id, ID. But usually we are hanging our identity card on your neck every day today, like a licensed version of a Dauber, or our German dog. We are carrying a license in our neck today. Wherever you go, you are offered, you are supposed to wear your ID card. In HR terms, years behind, I remember it was supposed to say not ID called identity. It is called id. Id, ego, super ego. Now, before I start inner mind version of explaining what is inner mind, what is ego. When you selfishly talk and everybody uses the word called ego mind, he is a super ego bugger. He is an egoistic mind. Everywhere it's being used. See, it's a word of abuse. Somebody wants to curse you, they can call you by the word of ego. Everybody uses in the world, everywhere there is a word called ego. Egoistic man. There are more than 50 movies available across the globe today. I have watched it, seen it. The name of the movie called Ego. In every language it has. Telugu has got, Tamil has got, English movies has got. Name called movie itself is Ego. What is ego? Ego can be written in negative form called ego. In inner mind, if we call it in a positive sense, I can call it by inner interest. For every ugly word, we can say it in a better form of saying it. On road, if you go on today, there are a lot of ugly words being used, but it has got its own operandi of saying good words. Similarly, ego itself is an ugly word, and super ego is another subconsciously used ugly word, ID, yes. Nevertheless, that too. Let me explain you what is ego. Ego is self-respect. So I'm trying to put the words in the right form of philosophy. So let's understand in the better form of understanding. If anybody says you are a egoistic man, give him a word, have a meaning of self-interest, inner interest. Don't say self-interest, inner interest. So you mean it by ego, I call it by inner interest. So there is a fight between ego versus inner interest today. So quickly I'm going with slide by slide. Let's understand, make our positive sense of understanding on this particular day of yoga. There are people, there are several people feel yoga is supposed to be performed by only Hindus, not by other religion. Because anybody does yoga and you are becoming a hermit, wanderer, Swami, saint. They call it like this. That ignorance in such a height of level. What to do? Anything we call it, suddenly one fine day, yoga day came up in India. Yoga is existing for longest years. Behind of it, nobody did yoga in the last couple years together. I've seen in my childhood time, one of the person known to me, he was one of the persons I know him, he was doing at my small temple in my hometown. He was doing it and yoga and dhyana every day. I never seen it even after 20 years during that time. After that 8th standard, I never watched it anywhere. I remember his face. He was doing yoga, dhyana at temple every morning 6 o'clock. He used to come. I was getting the way it appears, the way he does it. It's all, I'm 53 today, so I'm talking about more than 30 years behind. It was so unique, yoga. But today, there are talks of yoga, cycle yoga, car yoga, bus yoga, train yoga, in the world, everywhere. Everybody does it. There is a yoga called beer yoga. Liquor called beer yoga. The westernized form of yoga have become in a longer sense of understanding because of our in India, the last couple of years time, it is westernized and yoga by cycle yoga. Now coming to the point of ego and super ego, why I am connecting the subject of yoga in this place is yoga itself is inner mind energy development. So there I'm going to touch on inner interest. Okay. Ego usually works on conscious. Ego works on conscious ground, but not super ego. And I'll explain. Ego starts with full of himself. It is a purely more of psychological component. Super ego is more of biological component and psychological component. Super ego is social component. I'll give you an example. Ego, assuming you are in a job. You are in a job. At point of time, you are sitting along with your friends, having your food. Suddenly, one of your known persons saying, you are not supposed to have the spoon in hand in this form. You are supposed to carry both the spoons, one fork, the other spoon in hand, this form. don't lift the spoon beyond to this level. He was teaching in front of 4 or 5 people. So he got sudden arrogant mind, got into little irritated. So there the ego came out and he walked out of the lunch. Got irritated. So what is this? Why suddenly the person, though he was giving the right learning, or I don't know, it could be a right learning, but he was not supposed to do it in front of others when he was trying. So the egoistic mind suddenly works and he walked out of beyond managing. He could have either accepted or not accepted. Super ego, the another example I want to tell you, you are a good man. You are always the right person. You are morally responsible. You are morally understanding everything. You are morally understanding everything. But still, you want your favor. You want to have it on your own needs. That's called super ego. You are right, man. But still, you wanted it on your favor. So you mean that you are good man, so you want everything good. Ego man is something will not accept because he is so conscious. Super ego is subconscious. Your interest is the first priority. You wanted it, but still you may adjust it, but your ego works very badly. So that is also goes into subconscious. All 3 of them I want to explain in detail. Then I'll quickly run slide by slide. So make clear, understanding ego, superego, id. Now id, called identity. Let's call it that. The example what I want to tell you is a child cries for what is to get fed with milk. The child does not care about anything. It is wanting of milk. It starts crying. Even the mother does not give milk. It's supposed to cry. It just keeps crying till it gets. That's called it. Why? The child does not know what it is on its own and what it is supposed to wait for or look at around and where the mother and why the mother, what for, nothing she feels about it. Requires milk, it starts carrying, crying. It doesn't know its own identity. Super ego, you know it, but unconsciously. Ego, you know very well, everything want to be in favor of ego. You got the meaning between one and the other now. Hope, I think I have given a little explanation. Now, what is ego? Let's understand ego in little more detail. Why ego is getting into your mind every day? Sometimes you work so soft, sometimes you work so bad. Sometimes you are very simple man, sometimes you don't show your brain or your subject of your knowledge in a right form. Sometimes you scold people, sometimes you loudly talk, sometimes you cry, sometimes you smile, and lot of sense, huge amount of communication of jolly time concern. So why do we have all such kind of attributes within our mind? Because it's all learned from not by one practice, because the earth itself does not go by simple way of one static formula. Every year Round the year, 365 days, you will have only hot. You will have only cold. You will have only rain. You would also have only springtime. The entire 365 days of our nature goes with all put together of different form of weather conditions. Similarly, you do also behave in a similar pattern. You are a natured man. You are quite natured man. Day and night changes. You do change. So every components in life you look at it, it has got its mixture of each attributes which is quite necessary for human to live, or else you will become a statue. 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 Statue means a stone. Right? Where the ego starts, why the ego, all we do carry it in our entire life, in spite of huge amount of exercise we are doing it. Let's start from your child. When you become an ID, you get your milk at any given time, at any point of time you cry, and without knowing what you are, just after 3 years of age, you are put into a school. But what you want is, the moment you feel you want, leave the school. The moment you don't want the school to be on. The moment you feel that you don't want to carry exam. The moment you feel you don't want to have your time, whatever the school is giving order, whatever your mother is giving an order, whatever your parental is giving order, your siblings and your other social, personal life, everything. So what you are trying to do, you are trying to gain out of your interest to get your interest. So their ego arises. Why should I do? Why should I am doing supposed to? Why I cannot have this? Every demands arise. So your ego gets connecting towards the subject of your needs because you don't get it. The moment when you get it, your arrival of mind says one, the existence is different and you want it, so the ego starts. When you fail, when you get it, ego does not arise. When you get everything, you feel it, there is no talk of ego. The cow does not have an ego. The lion does not have an ego. What it's wanting of, it either gets or it chases for it, and it does not get angry on certain mental patterns. But as a human, we started with an idea and gradually go with the conscious thinking of ego, not subconscious, not unconscious. Consciously you wanted it. So there the ego arises. So the subject of our ego start from your age of third standard, second standard, down below. The inner mind is the main driving force in our life. I will explain a little later, but now I want to go with the next few more slides and purposefully explaining how we can try bending towards the ego managing. Ego and super ego is having its own wide difference. The super ego, you are the right man. Your demand is correct. You are working in a company, you are supposed to be given with the best promotion because you are given the results. but the organization does not care about it because it has got some group connect in this. Reason behind, if they give you, there are various other operandi will make disturb, so they may not give you a promote role which will make unrealistic to you and you will fight for it. That is called super ego. You are a genuine man, but you want it. When you become a genuine, morally correct, and you are the hero of the movie in your life, still you are not given with an opportunity of given because the villain is standing in against, you feel it. So you lose interest or leave the job and go to the next job. That's all everywhere in the HR of system in any organization. But when you start thinking subconsciously, the way of superego becomes nullified. It becomes pathetic to quit from the problem. But when you becoming accepting the mind and start thinking about what you can try planning, managing, organizing, and controlling your mind, you start with a
There is some network issue. So we'll wait for a minute and see. The next presenter can share your details in chat box, your topic and your details. Dear friends, feedback form for session 1 has been raised in the Zoom platform in the form of polls. We request everyone to quickly provide feedback for the session 1. Yeah, Ravichandranji, you can conclude in another 10 or 15 minutes. Quickly, you can unmute yourself, start your video and presentation.
Can you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
But screen is fine now. You open?
Yeah. You can make it full screen.
That's what I. That's fine.
You can continue. You have 10 minutes to conclude. It's already 40 minutes.
Yeah. So that, as I explained you, we are going with our school start ego from the beginning. Then gradually we go with very clear 6 important points. I want to say everyone can easily write down this. Whenever you happen to manage, or come across, your interest is always priority. Your interest is always a priority. When you feel it, everybody carries ego. Without an ego, a man cannot have his breath. But how we manage is an important. Let me tell you, these 6 important points are always one or the other way reaches to your brain, so you need to be little careful. You always want to be a right. As a managing of your brain system, every human instinct wants whatever he says right. Nobody says in this world, I say wrong. So our intention is very clear. I am right. So I'm supposed to be accepted. And you always want more. Number 2. Number 1, you are always right. Number 2, you want more. Number 3, you only focus you. You only focus you. Never, nothing exists. You know it, everything exists. But you want what you want. Irrespective of things go. You feel sad. Number 4, sometimes people very badly, I don't know whether it's true or wrong, but in ego, it plays very key. Somebody feels sad about others' success. I don't think what we have, but still, in ego, there is a point clearly given. Sometimes they feel sad about others' success. Though he may not get succeed or pass, fail, other success they feel sad about. You said unrealistic. all the time in our life, we always expect one or the other, which was supposed to be given to you by the nature of God, but still phenomenally, we call it as unrealistic. Whatever you have it in hand, if you feel happy about it, that is a realistic everyone says. So you need to have your hermit life from the day one of thinking. This is possible. This is possible. I do not know. But ego gives very clear importance, unrealistic. Anything you expect unrealistic. You lack empathy. Empathy on others. You don't feel about others. You don't give importance to others. You don't take the situation of others. But at last, if you give it, still you go back to your square one of ego. Ego all the time works in mostly conscious term. Always works on conscious term. Keep aside other philosophically, humankind lives mostly in the subconscious mode. That's a different part. But here, the ego works consciously, but is unconscious. Child behavior, as I explained you, unconscious. Moral behavior is unconscious. You live in the caged life. So at last, ego, consciously you attempt to achieve it for every direction of opportunity arises. Well, the next slide conscience includes information about that are viewed as bad by parents and society. These behaviors are often forbidden and lead to bad consequences, punishments, or feelings of guilt and remorse. Anything need to be explained, I can talk about, but otherwise, I want to go with the next amount and try to convince on things. We sometimes call it as a Mr. Ego. Within our mind, no, we are superlative natured and we work mostly on daydreaming. We think about everything need to be achieved, all the way across your examination, approach, employment opportunities. You wanted it badly. Anything given, you want to be in. Inner energy is the highest speed firefighter. Anything you want, you behave like a firefighter. First time you want to write your examination, you never think about your failures. Sometimes when you go to the warrior, they say you cannot talk about failure at all. You always want supposed to be dialogue only winning the match, winning the warrior. Now thought about of failure. So there the ego arrives. There the ego arrives. Every country goes against the other country, fighting for not failure. They never talk about in case we fail. They don't put that word at all in their barrier. Barrier is the intelligence involvement, not war. War is different, barrier is different. Anyway, I'll talk about that later, but today I'm talking on the ego. Whatever you want. That to emergency basis. As I explained, superego and all kind. I'm going quickly. Now, inner mind is an important characteristics one should go, and you can keep explaining diligently, intellectually by giving various reasons and try to engage yourself, making your concern, the ego becomes turned into the best journey, peaceful journey, happy journey by giving inner mind connect. The inner mind connects all by explaining in a proper sense, making sure that things are acceptable by the other who is also having ego. If you are an ego, the opposite to you standing another Mr. Ego. He is a super ego and no master ego. You can call it that. You are ego, he is also ego. You fight, he fights. In office, you can see everybody fights each other. They show not their ability of work. Everybody wants to fight by their own words, and there, if they succeed, not alone finance, by mental thought, there the ego is getting formulated for best form. So inner mind is quite important. So that is why I have taken a match on ego versus inner mind. So inner mind is quite necessity to plan accordingly, work diligently, thinkfully, thoughtfully. In these kind of formation, you can practice by meditation. That's called yoga. And the body movement of you do yoga exercise, dhyana exercise, all are relevant to make your balancing between your life of you ego and inner mind. So that is subject again goes into yoga, dhyana. These practices will make sure somewhat you improve. I'm completing the talk next two slides where the ego arrives, voluntary turnover in employment market, involuntary turnover. You don't want, but still you leave. Moving targets, every organization fixing badly to reach. Sometimes they don't fix nowadays after this situation of 3 years. Everybody is having a little lesser competition program because everybody has got the inner energy slow down today. So moving target is quite apparently it is moving up. Poor reviews also makes your ego develop. Win at all costs. Winning attitude is alone we talk about. We never talk about failure. We hate failures. That is why work life all becoming quite important in our life. And we talk yoga, we talk dhyana, and we talk about ego, inner interest, every topic. Today's stress management, mental pressure, all topics have come in the last 30 years of time, and especially after this, Facebook and Facebook is a mental asylum of the world. If you have a likes of 4,000 people, 300 people, it is a mental asylum. We never had such kind of communication theory of understanding programmed in the kind of Facebook, LinkedIn. What makes sense to us today? Nothing. In socially, we are connected to 5,000 people, but when you conduct your small rites, rituals at home, hardly two faces turn around. So everywhere there is a dishonesty, there is no connect, there is no behind people, there is nothing, excessive gossiping. We feel happy about gossiping about others. These all arise into yoga mentality. Sorry, ego mentality, not yoga, ego mentality. Newly cropping up. Huge amount of this communication platform today, social form of communication, making us badly turning around. So, little be careful, enjoy your life, start thinking carefully and principally accept things, whatever happens. Ego is the biggest enemy to a man, anybody. So be alert whenever you feel about things are to your favor. Just look at, are you into subconscious or unconscious? So subconscious, there are two components. One, ego also, conscious. Ego is a conscious. Super ego is unconscious. So are you into two components within? That is conscious of ego or conscious of inner connect. So anybody says you are egoistic man, tell them, see, I have my interest of inner interest, which I want to tell you now. Are you ready listening? I hope he may not listen to you because they don't want any proverb of communication today. Nobody wants philosophy. They all want to have no complete sense of immediate need. So philosophically, nobody will look at you. But still, if you practice and explaining people, I'm very sure your ego can be overcome by explaining the things or practicing, demonstrating in faithful way. Your inner interest will be attended. You will get marks of 4 out of 10. That's it. Nature does not permit you to take all the tens to your hand, then God does not arrive. We go with the topic of presence and we want all ego reaches and you go to pray to the God and asking for I want the best mark. Ego. You want the best results of my examination. Ego. You want the promotion. Ego. You want to get married. Ego. You want to get bear your child soon by next 1 year. Ego. Everywhere ego. And you pull the God and asking for you ego to give a result from the God, then God does not give, then it's all God's given me the permission of life. So again, your ego goes to the God, and God becomes the carrier of the ego of yourselves. So let's finish the call. Don't go to the God and ask for everything. God does not give you. The nature is giving you. The God is the presence of universe. It's all the nature. And we believe in nature. Go, everything happens. That too, again, 10 or 3 or 4 or 5. Not the entire 10. Because there is another person in front of you. He is also wanting of something. So leave him. Every failure of yours, there is another one succeeded man. He got your success. So he pulled out of you the success out of your hand. He took the joy of success. You take the joy of failure. So failure need to admit to and complete the life goes lesson. Thanks to all of you. Anybody want to take up further on dialogue? Dr. Ravindra, I'm completing the call and complete that. Thanks very much. Dr. Ravi sir. Hello. Hello. Hello, Dr. Ravi sir.
Thank you, Ravichandranji, for your presentation.
Well,
So, dear friends, if you have any queries, you can use chat box, or you can raise your hand if you have any queries. Or if you'd like to share your feedback, suggestions, comments, feel free to share. The feedback link has been shared. The feedback form has been shared in the form of polls. We request everyone to quickly attend to the feedback form. So we thank you, Ravichandranji, for joining us on this
Thank you.
wonderful introduction of yoga. And we wish you all the success and look forward for more sessions.
Thank you
Thank
so much. Thank you so much.
As we have seen, manifold benefits of yoga meditation offers various benefits like improved brain function, lowering stress levels, altering gene expression, increased flexibility, lowering blood pressure, improved lung capacity, improved sexual function, reduced chronic pain, anxiety relief, relief from chronic back pain, lower blood sugar levels in diabetes, improved sense of balance, stronger bones, healthy weight, and lower risk of heart disease and various other functions. So let's look at some asanas which provide relief for basic or common diseases. For cold, Sarvangasana, Alasana, Shirshasana gives relief from cold. And for cough, Matsyasana, Janushirshasana, Supat Vajrasana, Urdhva Vajrasana provides you relief for cough. For those who are suffering from asthma, Shirshasana, Shavasana, Sarvangasana, Matsyasana, Supat Vajrasana, Shalabhasana, Ushrasana, Ujjayi Pranaya will give you relief for asthma. And for those who are suffering from diabetes, Dhanurasana, Matsyendrasana, Naukasana, Surya Namaskara, Sarapasana, Bhujangasana offers you relief from diabetes. And for stomach disorders or gastrointestinal disorders and related disorders, Sukhasana, Padmasana, Bijangasana, Ardha Chakrasana, Uttana Padasana, Shalabhasana offers great relief related to stomach or gastrointestinal disorders. For liver and related disorders, Mayurasana, Bhujangasana, Shalabhasana, Shirshasana, Shashankasana, Halasana, Ushrasana offers great relief for liver and related disorders. And for mental tension, stress, anxiety, or psychological issues, Trikonasana, Vajrasana, Shavasana, Alasana, Garbhasana, Shashasana, and Sarvangasanas provide great relief for psychological, mental, stress, and anxiety related issues. For nervous stability, Ala, Chakrasana, Dhanurasana, Garbhasana, Vajrasana, Shirshasana, Sarvangasana, Shalabhasana, Pashamuttasana, Shashankasana provides great relief in case of nervous stability. For nervous tension, Shavasana and Kurmasanas provide great relief. For insomnia, sleep-related disorders, improper sleep or not getting sleep, and any sleep-related disorders, Alasana, Shirshasana, Sarvangasana, Shitalasana, and Shitala and Shitakari pranayam provides great relief. You can get relaxation and easily get into the sleep. And for hypertension and related issues, Shashankasana, Vajrasana, Pavanamuktasana provides great relief. For hypertension, for kidney and related problems, Udya Matsendra Asana, Ustrasana, Bhujangasana, Gomukasana, Shashankasana, Alasana, Dhanurasanas provide kidney and kidney related problems, a great relief for these kidney and kidney related problems. And for those who are obese, who are overweight and related issues, for them, Trikonasana, Paschima Uttanasana, Dhanurasana, Halasana, Shalabhasana, Sarvangasana, Padahastasana, Narishodhanasana, Dhyanasana, Bauddhasana are a great relief for obesity and overweight related issues. Even if you want to reduce weight also, these asanas are a great relief. If you are suffering from arthritis or pain in joints and related issues, Trikonasana, Santulasana, Gomukasana, Siddhasana, Natarajasana, Virasana, Vrikshasana, Setusandasanas provide wonderful relief related to pain in joints, arthritis, and related issues. And for those who are suffering from back pain or spondylitis or any spine-related issues, for them, Chakrasana, Dhanurasana, Bhujangasana, Mayurasana, Shashankasana, Vajrasuptasana, Padmasana, Trikonasana, Uttasasana, Naukasana, and Padmashalabhasana provides great relief to the back pain. Again, a word of caution. These are all suggestive, but it's always advisable you approach a yoga, certified yoga trainer or a therapist or a yoga guru and accordingly you can take up practice. Because certain times you may have certain comorbidities or other conditions prevailing. So it's always advisable to consult an expert before taking up any remedies. These are suggestive in nature only for the purpose of bringing awareness. And for further information, you can contact any yoga guru who is near to you in your proximity. And for rheumatism and related issues, Dhanurasana, Padmasana, and Vajrasanas provide wonderful relief. And as already mentioned, for spinal disorders and back pains also related, Alasana, Dhanurasana, Chakrasana, Bhujangasana, Shirshasana, Vrishikasana, Shashankasana, Shtarasana, Paschima Uttanasana provide great. And for those who have this gout related issues or disorders, diseases, Dhanurasana, Paschima Uttanasana, Pavanamuktasana, Trikonasana, Parvatasana, Gomukasana, Addha Matsyendrasana, Janurshirshasana provide great relief for gout and related issues. For those who are suffering from sciatica and related issues, Vajrasana, Gomukasana, and Hanumanasanas serves as great remedies. And for those who are suffering from constipation and related issues, Tarasana, Chakrasana, Janushirasana, Mayurasana, Bhujangasana, Dhanurasana, Bhumiyasana, Padasana, Mastakasana, Supta Vajrasana, Karnapirasana, Padmahastana Asana, Padmasana, Hastasana, Matsyasanas provide great relief for constipation and related issues. And for those who are suffering from or infested with worms, Naukasana, Vrishikasana, Matsyendrasana, Mayurasana, Sarvangasana, Shirshasana, Paschima Uttanasana provide great relief for issues related to worms. For acidity and ulcers, Shalabhasanas provide great relief. For frigidity and sterility and related issues, Bhujangasana, Shirshasana, Paschima Uttasana, Sarvangasana, Matsyasana, and Supatasana, Vajrasanas provide great relief. And for throat and thyroid and ENT, ear, nose, throat related issues or infections, Singasana, Sarvangasana, Shirshasana, Halasana, Chakrasana, Bhujangasana, Saptasana, Saptavajrasana, Matsyasanas provide great relief. And for women For menstrual disorders, Halasana, Dhanurasana, Shavasana, Vajrasana, Sarvangasana, Bhujangasana, Matsyasana, Parvatasana, Shalabhasana, and Shirshasanas provide great relief for menstrual and related disorders, and also to relieve from menstrual pain, cramps, and related issues. And for those who are suffering from piles and fistula and related issues, Siddhasana, Gomukasana, Bhadrasana, Chandra Namaskarasana, Janushirasana, Sukhasana, Sarvangasana, Uttanapad asanas provide great relief for these issues. And for fatigue, Pretasana, Shavasana, Matsyasana, Dandasanas are advised. So again, a word of caution that always consult an yoga therapist, yoga expert, yoga guru when you have certain disorders or ailments. And based on your prevailing condition or situation, you can approach nearest yoga therapist or yoga guru or yoga trainer who can suggest you suitable asanas and remedies. And to start practicing this yoga in various forms, it may be in the form of exercise, or it may be in the form of different forms. We need to have certain discipline to get the maximum benefits out of it. So there are certain rules and regulations as according to the ancient text of yoga. The Patanjali Yoga Sutras have mentioned that yoga consists of 8 limbs, Ashtanga Yoga, and various other yogic practices are available. And whenever we take up any activity, we should follow certain rules and regulations or certain guidelines to get maximum benefit out of it. As it is a science, a systematic performance will yield good results. So rules and observances, yama and niyama, postures, asana, the right posture, breath regulation, pranayama, withdrawal of the senses, pratyahara, concentration, dharana, meditation, dhyana, and absorption into the Supreme, the union with the Supreme, that is Samadhi. are the 8 limbs that are mentioned in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. When we talk about health, the World Health Organization defined health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So health contains various dimensions like physical, mental, social, emotional, spiritual, and various other dimensions. And it is evident that the health is a dynamic and multidimensional state, and therefore, to achieve optimum or holistic health, it is only possible with the use of holistic approach, which caters to every one of its dimensions. Yoga emerges as a perfect candidate or a perfect remedy or a perfect method or a perfect strategy for this purpose. Asanas, postures, or body movements or exercises and Kshatriyas, cleansing procedures, improve our physical components of health. Dhyana, meditation, and dharana, concentration, improves our mental, psychological health. And yama, discipline, and niyama, observance, are universal rules of morality and social conduct laid down by the sage Patanjali. And they are similar to the modern principles of the public health and community medicine. Discipline and adhering to the proper conduct, to the social conduct, and to the universal rules and regulations will always prevent the pandemics. We have seen most of the pandemics, the Zika virus or swine flu, or even the recent COVID-19 virus, is all from zoonotic diseases. These are passed from animals to humans. How it was transferred? Through consumption of meat. Because we are breaking these rules and regulations, and we have gone out of our diet, prescribed diet, and we are consuming irrationally, illogically, and we are very selective in what we are consuming. As already mentioned, we are what we eat, we are what we think, we are what we do. So, when we are consuming such wild animals, which were not intended to be consumed, at least now, earlier, when we had no option, the early human beings, Homo sapiens, at that time where the hunting and gathering was the only method, whatever we got, we ate to survive. But now the things are different. We have multiple options. But still, we are adopting lifestyles that are causing harm to us and also to the planet. Now it's a high time we realize that we need to make conscious and informed decisions so that we are aware of the consequences that are caused by our decisions. So let's take informed decisions of consuming a sattvic diet, more of vegetarian, or vegan diets, include more vegetables, colorful vegetables and leafy vegetables, and try to avoid, or at least if you can't avoid, minimize the maximum extent of meat consumption. Because of our sedimentary lifestyle and the excessive consumption of meat and meat products, to digest one-time meal of non-vegetarian food, it takes 2 days. A lot of toxic waste that are accumulated in our body, and because we consume, maybe due to social pressure or societal pressure or peer pressure, or with the influence of media, nowadays we see, even when we open our mobile or YouTube, we see a lot of ads, even in TV or even in on internet. We see a lot of ads luring us, persuading us, especially these famous biryani ads. You can see, chicken biryani, mutton biryani, and all sorts of variants, persuade us or provoke us to consume more meat and meat products. There is nothing wrong, consuming any food item, but as long as it is serving a purpose, serving for a healthy, productive purpose. But having a sedimentary lifestyle, and that too consuming more meat, is causing a lot of health issues, a lot of fat accumulation, a lot of toxic accumulation in body, that is creating a lot of health issues. So we need to be very conscious of what we are eating and have balanced diets. At least if you cannot give away with non-vegetarian diet completely, reduce. Try to consume once in a week, or at least once in a fortnight, once in a month, once in a quarter, once in a half year. Or you can also shift to occasional or seasonal or social gatherings, limit to, so that you can be more conscious of your health and well-being. And the practice of pranayama, breath regulation, and pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses, improve our emotional health. Today, we are more attracted to accumulating more materialistic wealth. As already mentioned, these simple ads in TV, mobile, on social media, on the internet. We are unable to control our senses. When we see the biryani ad, we are tempted to immediately consume. When we see this chips ad or junk food like burger or pizza, the way they are present these ads, they lure us. They persuade our senses to immediately take an action, place an order, and consume it. And our peer pressure also, sometimes the culture also has spoiled so much today. Without understanding, we are adopting Western culture. And today, most of the lifestyle disorders are because of adopting Western culture without understanding and without properly adopting to our local or regional cultures and traditions. and lifestyle. And even today, we have seen lot of wheat is consumed, especially the whatever is available locally, the nature has provided us with lot of locally available resources or foods, which are very beneficial to us. Nature is very knowledgeable and it knows what to give, what not to give. So based on the locally available climatic conditions, weather conditions, locally available foods are fresh, cheaper, and healthier. But what we are doing, we are consuming the foods that are being imported. Those are frozen and those are added with preservatives and chemicals to increase their shelf life. And because of that, more of toxicity and preservatives, we are not getting the proper nutrition and we are consuming more of junk and food that is not suitable for us or that is not beneficial for us at a higher price and which is not fresh. We get most of these now. Earlier, we used to get apples or mangoes only in the season, but now you see all around the year, we get all types of fruits and vegetables. This is what, when we are not adhering to the nature, we are inviting troubles and we are inviting issues and problems because these are seasonal vegetables, these are seasonal fruits or food crops that is best for that season. When we are consuming it, that also helps the farmers for sustainable agriculture. These different crops also help soil to regain its health, nutrients, because of these different crops cultivated, multi-cropping pattern, which is lost today because of the commercial agriculture practices and commercial crops. Even farmers are committing suicides because they have become entirely dependent. Earlier, if we have seen, because most of us belong to agrarian societies, maybe not immediately our generation, maybe our previous generation, or maybe our previous generation. So our forefathers were always the farmers. They used to, if we look at the previous cultivation patterns or the agriculture patterns, we saw that in a piece of land which was owned by the farmer or cultivated by the farmer, we had so many varieties of trees in the field, on the boundaries. We had so many fruit trees or vegetable trees, vegetable plants and other vegetation. Apart from the seasonal crops, there used to be a rotation where the nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfate and other essential nutrients which will preserve the soil health, they were cultivated. Once they used to cultivate this rice, paddy, and other time they used to cultivate cereals. and other time they used to cultivate these millets, and based on the availability of water and in these boundaries, these field boundaries, they used to cultivate these vegetables and other fruit bearing trees. So they were not dependent on anyone because vegetables were grown in their own fields. And, especially the rural households are much bigger, not like our, train compartment like apartments. We are helpless now today because the real estate also has changed so much and the prices have gone up. Now we cannot afford, not everyone can afford it. A duplex bungalow or, independent 1 acre houses or half acre houses nowadays. Especially in cities, it's merely an impossible task for a common man. Unless and until you have inherited with lot of property or you are into different kinds of things. So within that, what we can do, we can cultivate these terrace gardens or balcony gardens, or within our flats, we can use organic farming where we can grow our own food through which we can maintain and sustain our health and well-being. And also, why we are talking about these things is the entire agriculture pattern or the system has been in a destructive manner. We started exploiting high-yielding varieties, these all green revolution, white revolution. These all were good at that time where we had an immediate need to feed the entire population, where India got partitioned and British, we got independence and we were moving towards autonomy and independence from various things. At that time it was necessary, but soon we realized that we have exploited the natural resources, and today the quality and health of the soil has deteriorated to such an extent that today even the yield, the nutrition of the yield has affected. And today a lot of pollutants and contaminants have crept into these food items which we are consuming. And those are becoming cancerous and causing various diseases and illness. And apart from them, as already mentioned earlier, farmers used to have cattle, especially cows. This is also, cow is the best animal. In fact, that is the most compassionate animal, compassionate species on the planet. No other animal can give such a benefit, but unfortunately, due to certain vested interest, it has been communalized and it has been politicized, and today cattle is not part of farmer's family. Because of that, farmer lost the natural fertilizer which they used to get from this cattle. Cattle mainly consist of cows and oxes, and also includes various other cattle breeds. They used to get milk from that. They used to get this curd, buttermilk, ghee, paneer, and all these things. They were self-reliant. Today, why the entire gamut, this entire agriculture system or the farmers are today, why they are facing troubles is because of this industrialization of agriculture. Of course, there are benefits, but what made today farmers committing suicide more and more is because of more and more of independence because of these agricultural practices they are following. And now the basic earlier, no, the more we had cattle, the more wealthier we were, because cattle were seen as a rich prosperity. Because if you have cattle, say suppose if you have one cow and one ox, they flourish, right? We will have more cattle, more, and we get through urine and cow dung, or whatever it is, cow or ox or buffalo, whatever it is. No, you are getting dung, you are getting urine. Those are organic fertilizers, organic compost. They were used in the fields. They are used as manure, which are natural, organic, and eco-friendly, environment-friendly. So that was available for free, no need to buy, and there is no adulteration. Nowadays, fertilizers, lot of fake seeds, and lot of these fertilizers not working, and the crops are getting destroyed by pests, or their new pests are getting infected with the use of these fertilizers. All these were not there. The farmer was able to procure all these within his or her household. But this entire system has changed. And because of that, the food products we are getting, why we are talking about this is the food we eat, where it comes from, has been highly polluted, highly diluted, highly contaminated with fertilizers, pesticides, germicides. And along with that, to addition, genetically modified foods. They are no longer the original ones. We are modifying the genes, and that is impacting our genes, and we are also being affected. So farmers are the backbone. No matter what we do, at the end of the day, we have to eat 3 times. Of course, at least 2 times or 1 time. We need to survive, we need to eat. Without food, we cannot survive, no matter what. We can't eat anything else. So farmers have to be there forever. Without them, we can't survive. And farmers need to have sustainable model. That means we need to go back to our ancient. That's why I keep telling again and again. The present models, the present knowledge systems have destroyed the 3 centuries or 300 years of this modern science and technologies, have put entire planet into the verge of extinction and destruction. Today, disasters have become a norm. Disasters not only just related to our health and well-being, but also on the planet. And the divinity, when we talk about spirituality, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means all the living beings and non-living beings are part of one family. And divinity is imbibed. The greatness of Sanatana Dharma is that, it has imbibed, it has made us to think and accept everything, having divinity and everything as equal and respectable as the other. So even if we have seen, we have protected forests, treating them as gods like Naimisharanya. We have, that God himself is manifested in the forest, and we have these perennial rivers like Ganga, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Saraswati. All these have been revered and offered prayers. Why? Because the most civilizations, our civilization started on the river banks. Without them, without water, there is no life. So that's why divinity was imbibed into that. And we expressed our gratitude in the form of rituals. That too, unfortunately, we have distracted ourselves from eco-friendly natural materials, because at that time the population was less. And we had these practices which was a value addition, which acted as a remedial force by contributing to the health of the rivers and water systems, natural water systems. But today, we are using all artificial or synthetic or plastic, which is polluting, and toxic elements and untreated waste, solid waste, toxic waste are left into rivers. And today, one side we are having this scarcity of water. Today, even, if you remember in our childhoods, we used to when we go to villages, we used to directly drink water from the rivers, from the ponds, lakes, from the wells. Now, even in rural villages, people are buying this bottled canned water, this 20-liter bottle can. Just see what we have done to ourselves. Imagine every family, every individual, how much water we need per day. Say 20 to 40 liters, including for drinking, say adequately 5 to 7 liters per day, and for various other purposes. Just imagine if every person has to invest, say 20 rupees, a 20 rupee liter can. That is the least. In some places it is 5 rupees. In some places it is 10, 15, 20. But if you go for Bisleri or Kinley or any brand, how much it costs? It costs somewhere around, the minimum price is 80 rupees. And it goes up to 400, 500 rupees per 20 liters. Depends on the brand. And there are some brands which cost 50,000 also for 20 liters. Of course, that is in extremity. So let's not consider that. In an ideal situation, every person has to spend at least 10 or 20 rupees. And say with a family of 5 members, how much they need to spend? This is not just in urban areas, but also in rural areas. Every day they have to invest at least, for a family of 5 members, they have to invest at least 25 rupees to 100 rupees only for the water. Now see what we have done. We have polluted our water resources. Now we are making fun when we have protected, when we have imbibed divinity into the river bodies, and we have protected them because we have treated them as God and godly, and we have protected them from pollutants. Now we have removed divinity and we have made fun of ourselves, and we have polluted rivers. We have contaminated rivers. And today we are paying. We are paying as the contaminated water, polluted water is used for the irrigation purpose, and the crops that are produced are polluted, contaminated, containing heavy metals and pesticides, germicides, and all sort of pollutants. And today we are buying drinking water. Even the groundwater solution is also polluted. Now see what we have done. Can we call this as a sustainable development? You take it any field. I can give n number of examples. You mention any field, I can give you n number of examples where we have deviated from sustainable development to destructive development. Even our education, for that matter, we are getting so many degrees, doctorates, postdoctorals, but we are lacking basic values. Value education is lacking. When we are getting a degree or a doctorate, we are only just certified in that particular subject. No, we are not certified in the entire value education or human values or human rights. We are lacking that value education. And though we are acquiring so many qualifications, but we are not able to behave like a proper human being. A human being with a purpose, a human being with a common goal, with a common responsibility towards our own planet. This is what lacking today. We are highly educated, but lacking common sense or basic sense, where we are unable to act, move towards sustainable health and sustainable development. So all these various aspects are preventing us or promoting us towards the destruction. So what we can do, take informed decisions, take wise decisions to move on to healthy diet and healthy sustainable practices. Then automatically what we eat becomes pure, organic, natural, eco-friendly, environment-friendly. That will also indirectly promote our health and well-being. Not only our health and well-being, but also other species and on the planet. So let's truly reflect on the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam concept. We all belong to one family, irrespective of which species we belong to, and all species on the planet have equal rights like human beings. We cannot deprive their rights and opportunities to the resources, which hinders our growth and development. Though there are various other topics that was there, but we'll take up it in some other platform. So with this, we shall conclude this. So we thank you everyone for joining us. Hope everyone got some valuable information through this. If you have any questions, queries, feedback, clarification, you can raise your hand or you can use chat box. We request everyone to fill up the feedback form, overall feedback form, so that we can prepare certificates and upload it on website. You can download it after 2-3 working days. So the feedback form, overall feedback form has been raised in the form of polls in Zoom platform. We request everyone to fill up the feedback form. And those who have not registered, we request them to register. Registration is mandatory along with participation and feedback. So we have shared the registration form in the chat box, and there is no link for feedback form. It is taken in the Zoom platform. So you can first fill up the feedback form. Then you can register. The website address is also provided. You can visit. And all the upcoming events are also daily. We are having events. And all the upcoming events are listed on the website, and all the certificates. We are not sending certificates to any email or individually. You have to download it from the website after certain stipulated period. So you can wait till the Google Drive link is updated. So for those who have joined or those who are new to our platform or our system, let me show you. How and where you can download the certificates. So this is a website. Here you can find all the details. This is a common format for all the presenters and participants, those who want to present or participate. So first you need to register, then participate, provide feedback, and then download your certificate from the website. So these are the steps, 5-step procedure. And for presenters, there is an additional step to share their details so that we can record and prepare the certificates and flyers accordingly. So here you can see the latest event in the top. And as you go down, you'll find all the events. So here the event details is there. The website address is already mentioned. This in the chat box also. When you can see here the flyers. Just here below that you will find the Google Drive link to download your certificates. Basic eligibility criteria as mentioned. You have to register, participate, provide feedback, and download your certificates. Generally, in a week's time, it will be updated. Like recent conference, you can see. Here also, you can see presentation guidelines if you want to present. All the events are free. There is no charge for anything. You can join daily for presentations or participation. So let's go back to home page. Here there is a navigation menu on the left side. You can use that to easily navigate. So this is the present today's event. This was previous event, 8 days. Though it was initially planned for 1 week, it was 8 days. So like that, you can see older ones down. So here we have provided website address for everything. There is a sub-page. Here you can see e-certificates, right? Because here lot of it is a multiple day event. So we have kept it. Otherwise, if it is a single day event, it is there in the same page. So now here you can see like this certificate Google Drive link will be updated where certificates are automatically generated by the system. Once you click on this, you can open Google Drive. From that, you can download your certificate. See, for this last from 5th June to 12th June, we had 8 days international conference. For that, all the participation certificates and presentation certificates, they have been updated. Here you can find the links. You can download. So as part of that, we had organized a quiz also. And for that quiz also, we have given merit certificates, the top rankers, their details were also mentioned. So in a similar way, you can find any event, you can find all the details. And for if you want to present, as I already mentioned, there is a presentation guidelines. Like this format is there. This is a very simple format to follow that will help us to keep maintain proper documentation. So you can use this format to share the details. And for requesting certificates, as entire thing is automatic, handled by the system. If you still did not complete formalities in time, mostly what happens, if you don't complete all the formalities, or if you missed out something, or if you have not completed, then you may not receive your certificate, or your certificate may not be updated. Then you can use this format, because this is a format system uses. The data is required. It is collected automatically. You need not do anything. Only if you miss it, if you follow all the instructions, you need not remember any of this. If you don't follow the instructions, then you need to remember these things. And you can make a request. We can feed it to the system and get it if you are eligible, you can get your certificate generated. So that's simple. Hope it's clear. So thank you once again, everyone, for your valuable time and joining us. And if anyone has any queries, feedback, you can raise your hand, or you can unmute yourself and ask. Yeah, Mary, ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
Good night, sir. And thank for the opportunity you're giving me to tell my opinion. Today it's a very different topic for me. I learned lots, sir, especially that asanas and all I didn't know. I don't know anything about yoga. So it is a very enriching, very knowledgeable and wonderful. I gained a lot of knowledge, sir. My hearty congratulations to you, sir. Especially your session was incredible session, sir. Congratulations to you, sir. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Mary, for your kind words. The entire sessions are available on YouTube Live, and the YouTube link will also be updated on the website. You can check the sessions at any time, and the certificates also will be available on the website. You can download as many times as you want, whenever you want. No need to worry. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. So see you all tomorrow for the webinar series. Take care. Good night. And happy International Day of Yoga once again to all of you.